Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus again, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. I had been putting some material together to share with you, and I entitled it People. You're going to find this difficult to believe. But while I was waiting to get this material and record it for you, I've had another thought. I've observed something that is kind of so very instrumental in what I want to bring out. And this is, and I'm saying it, and I want you to know it's right in line with the subject matter. Edward Snowden. Most of us have gotten some idea about Edward Snowden. We've heard some things that he's done, and we've kind of gathered concluded what we really think about his activities. Well, I'd like to use Edward Snowden for a moment. Hundreds of thousands of people are on the streets protesting this and that, basically because Donald Trump is in office and he is someone you can't put him in a box, and you feel threatened by what he might do, and you don't want to chance it based upon things that he's said and where you have known people who are like him have gone in the past. I would like to suggest that every 100,000 of you or millions of you, wherever you are in this country, that you focus your attention at the reality of the threat that you have that causes all of you to come in the streets with different concerns, but all of them directed against your comfort by a threat. And I want you to turn around and you look at Edward Snowden, a man who saw a threat before you did. If it had come out some other kind of way, you've been all upset, you couldn't believe it, but this gentleman made it known, blew the whistle. And because you had told that he was no good for doing this, most of you have sided with that, indicating that you have given up your sovereignty. You're influenced by what someone is programmed within without having your own points of view or own thoughts. But what I'm saying about Edward Snowden, ladies and gentlemen, is this. Edward Snowden reflects, according to my understanding of truth, an angel. Edward Snowden represents someone who has been born again. Someone who has been born again. Someone who had an idea about the life that he had lived within these confines. Someone who had presupposed how things should be based upon that understanding. And then found himself with an awakening. An awakening that says it's not like you thought. It's not like they think. It's not like that at all. Not only is it not like it, it's kind of detrimental. It's kind of dangerous based upon where it can go and the protections that are being stepped on. And he says, I must speak. That is being called, for those of you who say you've been called as a preacher. Everyone that has been called experienced something like this. A clarity that is made so clear that they will step out. And ladies and gentlemen, when I'm saying stepping out, I'm talking about being living in the day. Living in the day. The events of the day. And being able to expose or release God in this moment, in this situation, in every situation. That's what being born again is. It's not going back in some book about thousands of years ago trying to tell me what you think somebody was thinking and trying to use that as a way to dictate us through life. It is that kind of attitude that have us where we are today with the White House and the threat and all that danger that we have up there. Had we walked like the angelic newborn Edward Snowden, that stuff wouldn't have been happening because we would have been transparent. We would have been able to see. People would have been able to recognize if leaders and representatives really cared about their ideas and maintained the fact that their ideas were common amongst one another for one another. I don't know, I didn't really mean to go that far, but when I see Snowden going through all of these changes, and when I see people, yes, when I see people who call themselves speaking for God, can you believe it? And they have nothing to say about what's going on. They just talk to you about something in the book. That's all everybody's talking about. You can't go wrong there. And it doesn't help you at all. Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave that. But no, don't let me leave that just yet. Let me tell you another thing. What I really want to tell you. I have a vision for the human race that I absolutely think is divine because it represents the God that I understand. And the thing that makes it so wonderful to me is that nobody loses in this vision. Every man and woman and child wants to be happy in life. Nobody wants to be not happy, that I can understand. And it can be. But it appears as though we don't know how. And we don't know how because we are being led by psychology and ignorance all the way down the road. It's not just ignorance. Ignorance is the one that follow. They follow because they're ignorant. And a few of those who are leading are ignorant, but most of them aren't. They know exactly what they're doing. Someone who is out there scheming, what's Enron, those kind of people, they know exactly what they were doing. And so I just use that. But all down the line, things that are not so magnanimous, whatever,